Hey, welcome back to the chat. Not sure what happened, but it looks like I lost my connection last time, but looks like I'm back now. Appreciate your patience. So, for those of you stuck around, welcome back. It's your boy Slide, and tonight we're going to give this another shot. This is the Midnight Ride with Slide, and this is going to be part two of our Black consciousness, actually, our Black spiritual sexuality discussion that we had the other night. In the previous discussion, we discussed tantric sex and different techniques, Eastern techniques, like breathing, stretching, and lightly discussed the Kama Sutra. But tonight, we're actually going to dive deeper, and we're going to discuss. We're going to do some, read some poetry, have a little spoken word, and enjoy some slow jams. All right, so please let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Again, sorry for the technical difficulties from before, but I do want to pick up where I left off. Not sure if you could hear the last poem, but the next one is going to be from an artist by the name of STP. Oh yeah, and just to give you the purpose, if you missed out at the very beginning. And let me give some shout outs to the chat. We got The Truth, thank you so much for your support. Darling Red, we got Nisi in the house. Well, hello, Nisi. Always nice to see a new face in the chat. Darling Red, I love her, hate her, keep me motivated. French Silk, welcome, welcome. Yeah, tonight we're going to read a little poetry, get into a nice, mellow vibe. I know the other night we had a heated debate about Monique, and tonight I just want to turn down the tempo and rather than debate, argue, and fuss, go ahead and go into part two of my discussion about Black sexual spirituality. So tonight, let's listen to a little poetry, and also got some slow jams lined up. So let's go ahead and get started again. All right, again, this is an artist by the name of STP, and the name of this poem is Erotica. I made love to her on paper and spilled ink like passion across the sheets. I caressed her curves in every love letter. I kissed up and down her thighs in short sentences and prose. I tasted all her innocence without a spoken word. I bit her lip and pulled her hair, and in between the lines, I made her arch her back and scream. It only took a pen. Again, that was a poem by the name of Erotica by an artist by the name of STP. I like this one also. This one is by an artist by the name of Shahid Shetty. So if you're able to Google these artists and check out their art, check out their poetry, they are awesome. This next poem has no name. Graze your fingers across my skin like a soldier crossing a landmine. Throw your kisses like grenades into the trenches of my mouth. Carve bullet holes onto my chest and remind me of where it hurts. Let your moans sound like gunfire and your breath feel like death. I come unarmed if you promise to destroy me. Make love, not war. Again, that's an unnamed poem by Shahid Shetty. Now we're going to go ahead and take our first music break, but before I do, I want to check out the chat, see what we have here this evening. Again, all my regulator family, welcome. Glad to have you here. All my blue wrenches, thank you for coming out. And Riverbend says she's trying to stay awake. Well, it's a mellow vibe tonight, so if you happen to knock out while listening to slow jams, it's all good. We're gonna end Thursday on a mellow note so that we can get ready to turn up for the weekend, at least before the kids go back to school. All right, we're gonna go ahead and take our first music break. When we come back, we'll have a little more poetry. And if you have some things you want to discuss in the chat, bring it up. We'll talk about anything. Be right back.
When he first walked through the door, I had this feeling that I'd never felt before. He was the finest thing I've ever seen. He had me trembling just 'cause he smiled at me. Then he kissed me softly on my cheek. Said to me, "You smell good enough to eat." Girl, I swear my heart must have skipped a beat. He's got me feeling like I did when I was 17. For him to put his hands all over me. So I let him know that I was ready for him to make love to me. But slowly, then slowly, he undressed me. Then slowly, he laid me down, pulled my panties down. Then slowly, he went down on me. Then slowly, been an hour since his love had been in me. Couldn't believe he felt this good inside of me. It was everything I dreamed that it would be. And like a virgin, I was tight, but he loosened me. Then slowly, he began to speak. "It's so good, baby," is what he said to me. "Girl, I'm telling you that this man is the truth. Put it on me like a real man is supposed to feel him come inside of me." But slowly,
All right, and that was, who's that artist? That was Selena Johnson, and the name of that song was Slowly. All credit goes to the artist. This video is not monetized, but uh, the channel is eligible for super chat. And if you're enjoying yourself as well, you can always support the channel at patreon.com/Sly Jones. If not, I hope you're enjoying the entertainment this evening. And like I say, I want to sell up a mellow vibe, kind of your, what did they used to call it back in the day? After 12, from midnight to 3. The midnight train, or I can't remember what they used to call it back in the day. But tonight, I want to welcome you all here. This is Slide's Midnight Ride. I'm going to enjoy slow jams and a little bit of poetry. And to give you a preview into the next video, Friday night, it's going to be the Friday night freestyle. I'm going to have a few topics we're going to discuss. It's kind of going to be a wrap up of the week. There was a family out in Texas who pays homeowners insurance, but for some reason wasn't able to swim in the neighborhood pool. Of course, she was a black woman in a mostly white subdivision. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the young black 10-year-old boy who, for whatever reason, got charged with assault over a dodgeball game. We're going to talk a little bit about that and some of the other topics of the week. But between that and the election and the debates and Trump and all that stuff, we need a break from that sometimes. We need a break from celebrity news too. So tonight we're going to get that break and enjoy a little grown folks talk and a little grown folks music. Again, welcome to everybody here. I see some new faces. Teresa Clayton, welcome to the chat. I certainly still believe in love as well, and there's actually a Selena Johnson song I think that has that title, so might pull that up tonight before the end of the chat. Again, whether you're with the person you love or whether you're still looking for love, welcome. If you're still longing for that love, be the positive influence you want to be in the world. Speak good. Put your good energy into the air. I hope all the positive vibes and love I have to give are bleeding through the airwaves tonight and hitting you right in your heart, so that you know I want to put that out in the atmosphere, so that you can spread that love, whether it's the person that you're with or the person that you long to be with or the person you long to find. All right. Well, I got a bunch of good poetry here, so we're going to go ahead and continue the reading. This is a short poem by a poet by the name of A.A. I wrote poems inside of her with my fingers. Our story began with her scream and ended with her soul on my lips. Again, that was a poem by the name of A.A. And I'm sorry if you missed the first couple of poems at the beginning of the chat. For some reason the chat shut down, but we're still here for you. And going into the chat this evening, Teresa Clayton, welcome. Mr. Rock Music, welcome back to the chat. He's another welcome member of the family. All these shallow requirements relationship that base common interest, not mutual contributions of love towards a partner. I believe in love, and still I wish love for those who seek it. I want to thank you for that message, Mr. Rock Music. And there's a lot of men out there who feel the same way, who have love to give, but there's so many stipulations out there now, and fake stipulations that don't have anything to do with attraction, affection. To me, love is one of the most simple things in the world, but we make it hard sometimes. If we let down our barriers and let love in, it'd be a lot easier. But those of us who don't love ourselves can't find love. Once we love and truly care for ourselves, and love who we see in the mirror, and, boost our self-esteem in whatever way. Walk with your head held high and be proud of who you are. That's when you can truly find love. At least in my humble opinion. So I'm curious if there's anybody in the chat that'd like to share. The phone lines will be open soon. If you think you know the key to love, if you're still looking for love, if there's something that works for you, because I know we do have some married couples in the chat. If there's any advice that you'd love to share with the single people out there, please do. The name of this poem is Seduction. The more buttons you undo, she said, the faster I become undone. Again, that was just a short poem by a poet by the name of Michael Faudet. The next poem is by Deanne Matley. The name of this poem is A Sexy Contagious. Bodies grinding gently in silence, crisp air between our lips, smoldering heat between our legs, still no kiss. Hands pressed together and in the air, shadows of ecstasy flicker. Eyelids go slowly up and down. Total surrender. Again, that was A Sexy Contagious, and that was by Deanne Matley. This poem is by an artist by the name of AMG. Actually, her name's Ashley, Poetry Lover 4. She's on Twitter. Actually, no, I'm not going to read that. See, I try to read poems that are male-oriented because, of course, I'm a man. Some of these are written by women. They are very beautiful poems, but they just wouldn't sound right in my voice. In case you missed this one on the first go around, I'm going to read this one again because I love this one. This one is by AA again. And if I read this one already, no, I think I may have read that one. I don't want to repeat. This poem is by John Mark Green. Again, welcome anybody who's new to the chat this evening. My warm whisper, intimate in your ear. The people around us, completely unaware of how you tremble at the power of my words. I love making your body blush in places others can't see. Again, the name of this poem is Robed, and that's by John Mark Green. So if you're enjoying the poetry, please give the poets their just due. All right, we're going to take another quick music break, and when I come back, we'll have a little more poetry. Hope you're enjoying yourselves. Again, this is the Midnight Ride the Slide. A little bit different format and a little bit different vibe, but hey, I like to mix it up sometimes, and I hope you're enjoying yourself. So, again, we're going to take a quick music break, and I'll be right back.
Come assai, ai
If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Hope everybody here is in a loving mood tonight. If you can, everybody that's here, let this be your meditation. Let's all breathe in, breathe out slowly. Breathe in all the good air, all the good energy, all the positive force around us, all the love. And exhale any hate, jealousy, misunderstandings. Just breathe in that good air. Those of us as high frequency beings do have to come in contact with lower frequency beings, and that's okay. That's balance. What we do is we elevate their frequency when we're in their presence. We do that through love, we do that through understanding, we do that through empathy. Fear, anger, depression, self-hate. Those are the things that hold people back. People forget to love. They forget about God. They forget about faith. Some people are motivated by money. Some by lust. But there's still a handful of us. There's still a handful of us romantics. So shout out to all the romantics. Let me know if you can hear me. I think I just fixed my audio issues. Mic check 1, 2. Sorry if you missed most of that, but I'm back now. Again, the channel is a year old now, so happy birthday to the channel. As of today, we have 13,000 subs, and I want to thank each and every one of you for being patient and taking the time. Alright, before we go to our third music break of the evening, we will have a little more poetry. So, again, thanks to everyone that's here. Now, we're going to take a different approach. Now, this was a very beautiful poem that I found, and it's written by a lady by the name of Ellen Bass. Now, this isn't your typical erotic poem, but there's a lot of innuendo. So, the name of this is Basket of Figs, and it's by Ellen Bass. Bring me your pain, love. Spread it out like fine rugs, silk sashes, warm eggs, cinnamon and cloves in burlap sacks. Show me the detail, the intricate embroidery on the collar, tiny shell buttons, the hem stitched the way you were taught, pricking just a thread, almost invisible. Unclasp it like jewels, the gold still hot from your body. Empty your basket of figs, spill your wine. That hard nugget of pain, I would suck it, cradling it on my tongue like the slick seed of pomegranate. I would lift it tenderly as a great animal might carry a small one in the private cave of the mouth. Again, that was Basket of Figs by Ellen Bass. And typically I won't read a woman's poem to a man, but that's a very fly poem. So if you like it, please check this lady out. Again, her name is Ellen Bass. You can Google these, by the way, if you're curious. The next poem I'm going to read is by John Donne, last name D-O-N-N-E. Again, shout out to anybody in the chat. Sam White, welcome to the chat. And like I say, in the spirit of love, I know there's other communities of people out there that have a different interpretation of love, and that's okay for them. This forum is for people that believe in the love between a man and a woman. Plain and simple. And I'm not going to mince words with that, and that's not to hurt anybody else's feelings. So whether you're looking for the love of your life, whether it be a man or a woman, you never know when you may meet her. Everybody says, well, church, that's the old cliche. You got to meet a woman at church or uh, some kind of social function. When it could be the lady right down the street, you never know. Everybody's waiting for this perfect love, but most of us at this point of our life are broken people in some way. Either we've been broken by someone or, life has sent us a series of different curveballs that we've had to adjust to that made us tough, made us want to put up walls. It's nice sometimes when you can submit and let those walls come down. All right, this next poem again is by John Donne. The title is To His Mistress Going to Bed. Come, madam, come, all rest my powers defy. Until I labor, I in labor lie. The foe oft times having the foe in sight, is tired withstanding, though he never fight. Off with that girdle, like heaven's own glistering, but a far fairer world encompassing. Unpin that spangled breastplate which you wear, that the eyes of busy fools may be stopped there. Unlace yourself, for that harmonious chime tells me from you that now it is bedtime. Off with that happy buzz why I envy, that still can be and still can stand so nigh. Your gown going off, such a beauteous state reveals, as when from flowery meads the hills shadow steals. Off with that wiry coronet and shoe, thy hairy dadium which on you doth grew. Now off with those shoes, and then safely tread in this love's hollow temple, this soft bed, in which white robes heaven's angels used to be, received by men thou angels bringest with thee. A heaven like Muhammad's paradise, and though our spirits walk in white, we easily know. By this these angels from an evil sprite, those said our hairs, but these are flesh upright. License my roving hands and let them go. Before, behind, between, above, below. Oh, my America, my newfound land, my kingdom safeliest when with one man manned. My mine of precious stones, my empire. How blessed am I in this discovering thee. To thee in these bonds is to be free. Then where my hands are set, my seal shall be. Full nakedness, all joys are due to thee, as souls unbound, bodies unclothed must be, to taste whose joys gems which you women use are like Atlanta's balls cast in men's views. That's when a fool's eye lighteth on a gem, his earthly soul may covet theirs, not them. Like pictures, or like books gay coverings made, for a layman all are women thus arrayed. Themselves are mystic books, which only we, whom their imputed grace will dignify, must see revealed, then since I may note, as liberally as to a midwife show. Thyself cast all, ye this white linen hence, there is no penance due to innocence. To teach thee, I am naked first. Why then, what needest thou have more covering than a man? Again, that was To His Mistress Going to Bed by John Donne. If you're new to the chat, welcome. If you're enjoying the vibe, stick around. Very interesting chat going on. And I like to hear the women chime in as well. As a matter of fact, I could open up the phone line. You can tell us about your own labor of love, the love you've lost, the love that you seek. Give a little advice, or maybe even ask a few questions. We may find answers together. So if you're so inclined to stick around, then again, share this video, give it a like, and get some of your friends to join into the chat. The name of this poem, this is a very interesting poem. Hey, NA Love, welcome to the chat. And by the power vested in me by being Sly Jones, owner of this YouTube channel, and by you being a very consistent, very long time website owner slash blogger, vlogger, gardener, uh, web designer, and whatever other skills you have, uh, I would love to honor you with moderator status, Miss N.A. Love. And quick shout out to all my blue wrenches in the house. They all have YouTube channels, so except Lady T. Lady T is my #1 moderator and engineer and motivation for these videos. So shout out to Lady T this evening. Sam White, welcome to the chat. Shout out Sam White. Like I say, it's always nice to see a new face. And like I say, my channel's not a mega church. My channel is still that down home country church where the pastor knows everybody and can shake your hand directly. It's not like the mega church where you go in and the pastor never knows your name. Even though I do have 13,000 subscribers, my live chats have a very loyal following. So I want to thank everybody for taking the time. And congratulations to N.A. Love. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to her channel. And if you have any favorite YouTubers, please don't be afraid to plug them on my channel. It's not that kind of place. If you're a musician, if you're an artist, if you have a channel of your own, please let it be known. Leave links so that we can share the love. There are no rules here. So please don't feel like it's out of place to plug yourself. All right. Now the next poem I'm going to read before the next music break, the next and last music break before we close out the video, is a poem by the name of Lust, and this is by Yusef Komanyaka. If you're interested in finding out who he is, again, that's Yusef, Y-U-S-E-F, last name K-O-M-U-N-Y-A-K-A-A. If he could only touch her name like an old wish, it stopped weather of salt on a snail he longs to be. Words, juicy as passion fruit on her tongue, he'd do anything but dance 3 days and nights to make the most terrible gods ride sides of the ashes of the youth, to step from the naked, afraid to be as tender as meat imagined of. The bluegill's perilous bones, he longs to be an orange to feel fingernails run a seam through him. Like I say, these are deeper poems more than just the regular, what you'd explain from a Zane novel, or really just explicit. Like I say, I don't even think I'd be demonetized for this, except for the fact that I have used copyrighted music. But I don't think I've used any foul language in this video tonight. I think that's a first. All right, the next poem before the next music break will be The Encounter by Louis Gluck. Again, that's Louisegluck. Please show the poet some love. You can always Google them and find out find more of their work. And if you could, please hit that like button on the way into the chat. That is very much appreciated. And they love, if you're still in there, say something in the chat so I can make sure you got your blue wrench. Again, if there's anyone else here that has a YouTube channel, please don't be afraid to plug it. Or if you have a favorite channel where you hang out, please let me know. Ah, there it is. Congratulations. Thank you. I want this to be a place where people can relax. There's so much to be upset about. It's the one place you don't have to be. The next poem is The Encounter. You came to the side of the bed and sat staring at me. Then you kissed me. I felt hot wax on my forehead. I wanted it to leave a mark. That's how I knew I loved you. Because I wanted to be burned, stamped, to have something in the end. I drew the gown over my head, a red flush-covered face and shoulders. It will run its course, the course of fire, setting a cold coin on the forehead between the eyes. You lay beside me. Your hand moved over my face as though you had felt it also. You must have known then how I wanted you. We will always know that, you and I. The proof will be my body. Again, that was The Encounter. Please give a like or share if you're enjoying the poetry this evening, or if you've enjoyed the music, or if you're just in a mellow mood. If you're thinking about love. I thought about love the other day. I had a young man, very good friend of mine, came to me for a little advice because he and his old lady were having problems. Shout out to the homie if he's listening tonight. And it reminded me of my first love that I encountered when I was 19 years old. Quick story. She ended up going to college out of town, and I ended up going to training out of town. But you know how you have those. Well, this is the first time I found out that a break was a breakup. I didn't know the rules. So I guess during this not breakup break, my best friend comes in from town, even though he was a third string special teams player at the school he went to. Of course, he had everybody at home convinced that he was on the starting lineup, even though you can see the games on TV on Saturday and never once saw him on the sideline. But anyway, it was a good enough story for her, so that during that not breakup break, you know what happened next. I don't need to say it. And You know, you have that. They have what they call a hurting kind of love, and then there's a healing kind of love, and then there's a I don't know. There's that old, well, we're just gonna stick together kind of love. So there's levels to this. That love to me, before any of that happened, was that I don't care what else is happening around me kind of love. It's that love that transcends the physical plane around you. And you literally feel like that when you're in that person's arms with your eyes closed, that you are literally somewhere else. That's that universal spiritual connection that I was talking about in part one. And they have that old saying, it's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. And of course, at this point in life, we all have a few kids. We all have an ex-husband or wife or two. So, life dealt us the cards we were dealt anyway. None of us had a perfect ending. But just thinking back to that kind of love, I've always thought in the back of my mind that first love is just like that first high. And then if you seek it long enough, you may find it, but nothing will ever be like that first time. So if you're in that zone tonight, go back and think to that first time love. Think about all the good times, not the hurt that came later, or the truth that came out. But when truth didn't matter, nothing mattered. The only thing that mattered was that person. And every time you thought about them, the smell of their perfume. Every time I smell Charlie Red, it triggers a certain emotion in me. And it takes me like right back to 1990, whatever year that was. Like I said, I can't really speak anymore on it because, again, that person might actually be listening. So, but life goes on. If you be so inclined, tell me in the chat about a time that you were in love. Or are you still seeking that kind of love? Have you felt that love? Has it been so long you forgot what it felt like? That's okay too. Because love is the most powerful force in the world. The hardest thing for us to do is tap into it. We're so busy with our schedules, and some people have medical issues, health problems that don't allow them to have the mobility that they may have once had. So, some people are afraid to get back into the game. But once you find acceptance in yourself and pride in yourself, it makes it a little easier. It's not always easy, especially nowadays. It's almost like everybody has a motive or agenda. And if you already have trust issues, that doesn't help either. It takes a certain level of patience. Alright, shout out to the channel and Dr. Miles Monroe. And again, if you got any shout outs, that was Mr. Rock Music. If you have shout outs for any channels, again, shout out to NA Love. Please subscribe to her channel. Shout out to Private Iris. She was in the chat earlier as well. She's also a brilliant YouTuber. Riverbend Out has some really cool videos that make you laugh. So, like I say, shout out to the family. Hopefully those of us with high blood pressure have had a chance to have a woosah moment this evening. If you're enjoying the chat, please let me know where you're from. This is later than I usually post, so I'm hoping that I get more foreigners, more West Coast people. And let's celebrate love between a man and a woman. That man comes home from a hard day's work, make love to him. Show him that you care. Don't just start fussing at him, dumping kids off on him, fussing about bills. Make love to that man. We have more pressures and stress than you can realize. And stress affects sex. And if you want a healthy love life, you have to control your blood pressure. So, guys, don't be afraid to go to the hospital before you reach for a little blue pill. Go see the doctor first. If you don't feel well, get yourself taken care of. Don't wait. The woman in your life is worth it. Jobs can be stressful, finances can be stressful, kids can be stressful. Find ways to eliminate that stress. Find time to meditate. Don't be afraid to go to a quiet place. That way, once you reset and you come back focused, you can love that woman the way she deserves. Alright, the next poem I'm going to read before the last music break. Again, thanks for sharing this time with me this evening. Anybody new to the chat, welcome. Don't be afraid to speak up. Shout out Ear Hustler. I'm actually in Georgia too, so shout out. Much love from the 706. Yeah, there has been a lot of stress in the YouTube streets. Well, some people that try to create stress. This is a no stress zone. Now, when the time comes, like I say, I keep my powder dry, but that has to be important. I did have somebody that tried to make me come up out of myself, and still don't understand why, but maybe it was, well, I can't explain it. We got New York City in the house. Boss Max, welcome to the chat. Shout out to anybody new. Welcome. Hope you're feeling the vibe. Make love, not war. Exactly. There's enough of that. Turn on the news. Iran, Iraq, North Korea, blah, blah, blah. Stress. On every channel. The news. Daytime talk show. Stress. Stressful situations. Stressed out people. We got to get back into nature. Get back out to water. Going fishing. Swimming. Going out to the woods. Reconnecting. That's where true peace is. Alright, the next poem we're going to read is Love Sonnet 11 by Pablo Neruda. Again, that's Pablo, Neruda. If you enjoy the poetry, please please check out the actual poets. I crave your mouth, your voice, your hair. Silent and starving, I prowl through the streets. Bread does not nourish me. Dawn disrupts me all day. I hunt for the liquid measure of your steps. I hunger for your sleek laugh, your hands the color of a savage harvest. Hunger for the pale stones of your fingernails. I want to eat your skin like a whole almond. I want to eat the sunbeam flaring from in your lovely body, the sovereign nose of your arrogant face. I want to eat the fleeting shade of your lashes and pace around hungry, sniffing the twilight, hunting for your hot heart, like a puma in the barrens of Quatrain. Again, that was Love Sonnet 11 by Pablo Neruda. I don't think my moderator liked that one. She's over here laughing. I like that one. Okay, so yes, that one didn't tickle her fancy. Well, maybe a little music will. So we want to take our last music break, come back and just have one little last chat with the family, and then get ready to close out the video. So here's our last music break. Thanks for everybody that's sticking around so far. Really appreciate your time, your participation in the chat. And I will open up the phone lines before we close out. So last music break, and I'll be right back.
Fortunately, you have got someone who relies on you. Started out as friends, but the thought of you just caves me in. The symptoms are so deep, it is much too late to turn away. Started out as friends, signed your name across my heart. I want you to be my baby. Sign your name across my heart. I want you to be my lady. Time, I'm sure, will bring disappointments in so many things. Seems to be the way with all your gambling cards on love you play. I'd rather be in hell with you, baby. Ooh, heaven. Seems to be the way. Sign the name across my heart. I want you to be my baby. Sign the name across my heart. I want But before you go, reach over to me and sign your name across my heart. I want you to be my baby. Sign your name across my heart. I want you to be my lady. Sign your name. Sign your name, baby. Why don't you say it, baby? Why don't you sign it? You feel it,
All right, everybody, I'm back. And to end tonight's show, before I check the chat again, of course, I'm going to end it with a poem that comes from the world's most popular book. No, I don't mean the Quran. No, actually, I mean the Holy Bible. King James Version, to be exact. Actually, I'm going to be reading from the English Standard Version, because I do like to end my shows on a positive note. And what more positive note than from the word to the Most High and His prophets. But it's also going to be a love story. Make sure you can hear me over the music. Oh, and the phone lines are open now. So if you would like to call in, telephone number is 605-313-5384. The access code is 165287. So before I close out, let me check the chat one more time. Yeah, I believe he changed his name. The guy that sung Sign Your Name. I can't pronounce it now. But if you guys are quick on the Googles there, you can find his real name. He changed it from Terrence Trent D'Arby. Matraic something. Let me find it. Oh, his new name is Sananda Maitreya. Sananda Maitreya. And he has dreads now. Yeah, that video I found was actually a live performance of Sign Your Name. I like that version just as much as I like the original. All right. So if there's anything that anyone would like to say before we close out, please do. Or if you'd like to call in, the call in line is now open. Never know who might call in.
This service is provided by freeconferencecall.com. Please enter your access code followed by the pound or
Just
if
getting,
you are the host, press star now. Otherwise,
I'm just getting logged in here.
please enter your access code followed by the pound or hash sign. Please wait and please enter your PIN followed by the pound or
All right, the calling line is
there
ready.
is one host in this conference.
All right, again, it's been a fun live chat. Glad you guys enjoyed the music. I appreciate you guys for hitting that like button on the way in as well. Really do. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Share this with someone who might like it. Shares are a big, big help on YouTube nowadays, especially for smaller channels like this. So, and I say smaller because I did have one viral video that attracted a lot of attention, but you know, I'm not a one-trick pony. I have a lot of different interests other than Cat Williams. So, yeah, I appreciate the bump that it got for that video, but I'd much prefer, again, to be that small country church where the real worshipers go rather than be at the mega church with all the sheeple. I'm glad my channel didn't turn into that. All right, again, you can feel free to call in if you like. And I'm going to end with a little wisdom tonight. What I'm going to read is from the Song of Solomon. Now, if you don't know, the Song of Solomon pretty much starts off as a love story. The bride confesses her love. This is the Song of Solomon, chapter 1. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is better than wine. Your anointing oils are fragrant. Your name is oil poured out. Therefore virgins love you. Draw me after you. Let us run. The king has brought me into his chambers. We exalt and rejoice in you. We will extol your love more than wine. Rightly do they love you. I am very dark, but lovely, O daughters of Jerusalem, like the tents of Kedar, like the curtains of Solomon. Do not gaze on me because I'm dark, because the sun has looked upon me. My mother's sons were angry with me. They kept me keeper of the vineyards. By my own vineyard have I not kept? Tell me, you whom my soul loves, where your pasture, your flock, where you make it lie down at noon. For why should I be like one who veils herself? besides the flocks of your companions. I invite you to read the rest of that. Again, I do like to end on a positive note. And the Song of Solomon is very beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful stories in the Bible. So we'll go ahead and close out the chat here. Again, I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Again, shout out your favorite channels. Shout out anyone out there who you feel like we should know about, or if you have a channel yourself, don't be afraid to leave a link. Your input is always welcome. Your calls are always welcome. I can be reached at therealslyjones@gmail.com. If you'd like to collaborate, if you have any questions about the channel, give me a shout. I'm usually available to hit you back. All right. I want to thank everybody for their time. God bless. Hope you have a safe evening. Don't forget to check in tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is Freestyle Friday. We're going to be wrapping up all the issues of the past week. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So look forward to seeing you then. Take care. Hope you have a great night.